Hello, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, I am in a new setting. So welcome to my living room. Today I'm going to be going over how much I make in 1 month being a freelance photographer here in Charleston, South Carolina. First thing I want to make note of, it is never, ever the same number. It is always different, and we're going to dive into that because I'm going to compare my month of December to my month of January. And why does this matter so much? December, January, like whatever. It's because December is a hot month. December is the holidays. December is family portraits and Christmas sessions and Santa photos, and sometimes a lot of people get married. And then January is slow season. I'll go into what to do during the slow season more in another video. So in December, I made $5,046. Now, did I know I was going to make that? No, because like I said, I am a freelance photographer and I did not know more than 2 of these gigs. I actually remember I was in New York City with my boyfriend's family in November, and I was talking, about the real stuff in my business, and I was like, honestly, I don't know what amount of money I'm making. I knew I was making maybe $500 from 2 gigs, but I didn't know that I would be making $5,046. I'll get into how I actually ended up getting those deals in a minute. If you see here, I had the Carissa photo shoot for $200 that was lined up, and then the Santa photos for $250 lined up. So that was about $450 that I knew I was getting in December. Now, let me break down kind of what came last minute, and then I'll get to how I got these deals and how I secured them. So if we look at the wedding with Emma, there's 2 of them. This is a photographer here in Charleston that I work with a lot. I will be her second shooter for weddings. She asked me a few weeks in advance, so maybe like beginning of December she asked me. So then go to Wedding in Holly Hill. I'm on a Facebook group, and someone's like, hey, I need a second shooter in Holly Hill, which is a part in South Carolina, who can do it? And I commented, hey, I'm available, this is my rate, this is my gear, and she was like, hey, I'd love to have you. So I did that. But yeah, so basically what I wanted to break down is how much I made and where all this money came from. So you can pause it and look over exactly how much I made from each gig. I can't tell you the exact amount of hours or how much time I spent editing, whatever, for these gigs. I do know that my prices are quite cheap for what I am doing and the quality that I do return and my return time and everything involved. But I will be raising them eventually. But like I said in my last video, we're just cruising by and we're figuring it out because it is freelancing. So now let's go to January. January looks much different. $2,035. That doesn't feel good. It feels much better to make $5,000 with this business. But $2,000, I got by. So I did an engagement session. And you can see my prices are a little bit higher, but I did an engagement session, I did a wedding, I did a gym clothing shoot, a girl who owns a clothing brand. January was very different, but I want you guys to know that that's expected and that's normal, especially in the slow season. January is cold. January is after the holidays. People don't want to spend money. People aren't going to go outside and book you for photo shoots. Now, you'll get a wedding here and there. You'll get an engagement session, especially after the holidays. And also in January, I actually closed a lot of deals and planned some for like March and April and May because that's hot season. So I was starting to close more deals in January. I worked on my website. I continued to update my website. For example, I get a lot of college graduates that want me to do their sessions. So I went and updated all of those albums and made sure that they were all working and linked. I updated my family portraits because family portraits are going to start coming around early spring. Yeah, January wasn't a good month. December was a great month. And how I kind of worked that out and made it work for my lifestyle, I saved a lot of money in December. I try to save as much money as I can the month that I make it because I never know what that next month is going to look like. If you are a freelance photographer and you know what your next month is going to look like, props to you. That's amazing. Good for you. For me, I don't always book super in advance. I have some gigs here and there that are booked in advance, but a lot of them come last minute. And as I said, I wanted to circle back to how I actually get these deals, and especially last minute, how it works. So I'll say 95% of my marketing is on Facebook groups. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going on to Facebook groups. I'm like, hey, book me as your photographer. No one likes that. Don't do that. You're not going to get many deals, and there's not much longevity in that. When people ask for a photographer, I'm on it. I'm on that Facebook group. Will go on that post and comment my website. I'll say, hey, I'd love to work with you on this, or I'll say something relatable, how I can help them out in a different way, make me stand out. And then I will say, I'll message you. So then I will go ahead and look at the original post and click their name and click message. And I will go ahead and privately message them, maybe include some rates or a deal that I can give them. And then usually people do like when I message them. They're like, oh my gosh, like this is great. Like I had all these comments. I'm glad you messaged me because it was just too much. I've had that a lot. Another way that I do get these deals is I've been working to spread my name for 4 years. I've been working to meet people and make connections, and I've done so many free photo shoots to get my name out there. I've been extra nice compared to some people in certain instances. Advice to you, advice for me. Do what works for you. Do what do whatever you need to get your name out there and get clients. That other 5% of where I get my clients is usually from referrals and people just reaching out. For example, some families that I used to babysit for when I was in high school find out I have a photography business and they're like, hey, can you do our family photos? And there you go. It's a connection. Someone from my podcast needed photos. Someone from an event needed photos. When I was at one wedding, one of the bridesmaids, hey, I would love to use you. You're great to work with, all this stuff. Can I get your number? Boom, hired me. So as long as you're getting out there, socializing, talking about your business, you'll get gigs. Practice and persistence and patience. Ooh, PPP. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, how did you pay your bills? Well, I always had a backup plan. First backup plan was that I have another business. I own a digital marketing and media company. My second backup plan was I'm always preparing for a bad month. I'm always saving just in case I do have a bad month. Third, I always have stuff to sell. I mean, I could literally sell this plant right here. I could sell this lamp if I wanted to. Like, I don't need as much stuff as I do have, so I'm willing to sell things. Like, I just sold some old camera gear that I didn't need. I'll sell it, want some extra cash because I'm going out of town for 2 weeks. So I was like, this will help me out so I don't have to touch those savings for another month. And then another backup plan is I do pick up some babysitting and dog walking jobs. If I am having a bad month, like in January, I definitely babysat a few times. That's another way that I made some extra cash. So the overall idea is that freelancing is not a one-way path. Freelancing is not a way to get rich right away. It's not fast. It can be, but don't depend on it to be fast. And it's normally a hit or miss type of thing. Now, if you can make your freelancing business into a full-time business, props to you. That's amazing. But generally don't rely on freelancing as super reliable, dependable source of income. I think it's a great way to make some extra money if you have a full-time job and you want to do it on the weekends. I think it's a great way if you're in high school or college and you want to make some extra cash, especially if you're in college. Like, do some college photo shoots, grad shoots. But yeah, so always have a backup plan, always be able to pay the bills. And if you have any more questions about how much I make in freelance photography, let me know. This was just my December and January 2022 to 2023. And this is going on to my 4th year in this freelance photography business. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't know how to run a photography business or know how to start a freelance photography business, I'll have them linked in the description and maybe a card on whatever side. I don't know. But yeah, as always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Headphones in, loud. Please. Maybe that'll be my outro.